Check 1 2, check 1 2. Okay. Audio looks good, and this is gonna be as good as gonna get. This is probably gonna be the best audio is gonna be for the night, because as soon as I get switched to the kitchen, it's gonna be absolutely terrible. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Valentine's, guys. And why is chat not showing up? Oh, this is why chat's not showing up, because I didn't fix it right. Gotcha. Well, it's there now. And so today I wanted to do something a little special for Valentine's Day. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to do just a video or stream it. It has been a while since I've done a what do you call this? A cooking stream. So I figured today might be a good time to do that. What is my opinion about ants? Nothing. I feel nothing for ants. And I didn't realize I'm streaming on Twitch at the same time. I may have forgotten to turn that option off. But anyway, since you guys are here, welcome. Let's see. So today, like I said, I'm going to be cooking in the kitchen. I'll be moving there in a second. I just wanted to check in with everyone. How's your day been going so far? Valentine's Day, I guess for me, Valentine's Day doesn't mean much of anything. Just because, alright, it's a day for, I guess, getting together with your loved ones, technically. Either, most of the time it's your significant other, right? Most of the time it's your significant other. But the thing is, I feel like a lot of people don't have a significant other. So, where does that leave us? I'm not sure. We go to our 2D waifus and husbandos, I guess, or just wish for all the normies to go blow up and explode. I don't know. But I don't know. For today, I just wanted to try to do something a little special. We'll see how well it works though. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to cook again on stream. It has been quite a while. I think it's been a couple of months since I last done it, and I forgot what I did last time, to be honest. I was gonna cook back in Christmas, but it's Christmas. Gotta do that with family stuff. Can't exactly do much with that. So let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. That way we have one message. Every other Valentine, alone, sad, and Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A sounds good. It's been forever since I had Chick-fil-A. If I actually had a choice, if I actually went out to eat today, I would have actually gotten pho or something. Because I haven't had my New Year's pho yet. And I feel like I'm overdue for pho. I think I'm still overdue for pho. I haven't had it yet for the year. But okay, I'm gonna get set up, guys. One thing to keep in mind when I go to the kitchen is the audio quality is gonna be terrible. Just because I don't have a very good audio system for when I am in the kitchen. I can't exactly cook this in the room like I did in my previous streams. It's a little bit difficult to do so. So do me a favor, let me know if the audio is too soft or too loud, and I'll try to adjust it. I'm gonna be very limited in what I can see in chat and hear that's happening in the stream. So let me just put a note really quick over here. Please let me know if audio needs adjusting. There we go. I'm gonna pin that, so just in case we got that going. And I'm gonna move over to the kitchen. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what we're gonna be working with. Also, I'm gonna be turning my camera off, so it's gonna be just my voice ones. When I say camera, my face cam. I'm gonna be turning my face cam off, so you'll be seeing instead a reactive PNG. Because it's a mess in the kitchen right now, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. Okay. Ooh, I think I'm a little bit too big. I need to adjust that before we head over. There we go. I think that's good. I think that's good. Alright, let me switch over to the other mic. That's gonna be interesting. Alright, check 1 2, check 1 2. Please let me know if you can hear what I'm. I need to lower that volume down. Can I see the chat? Please let me know if you can hear the mic, and if I need to adjust the volume. It's a little bit wonky once I start going on the lav. So any help I can get regarding audio stuff is hearing too much in the kitchen. Hold on. Let me see if I can adjust that. Is this okay now? Or is this too loud, too soft? Because to me it was fine earlier, but like I said, the mic situation in the kitchen is not the greatest. Not the greatest. Now it's too low. Okay, this is like in between where I had it before. This is between where I had it before. Part of the reason why I had the mic up a little bit higher before was so you could actually hear the cooking sounds. And like, you know, if you chop, fry and stuff, that's why I had the mic so at a certain level. But I don't know, it's a bit weird. Once I switch over to the lav, it's very, very weird, and I don't know really how to deal with it. Alright, so as you can see from the camera, we have some butter, eggs, pasta, and onions. Actually, what I want to do today was just mainly do spaghetti, a spaghetti dinner, as shown in the thumbnail. However, I figured, why not add a little dessert to that? And because it's Valentine's, you know, we got chocolate stuff going on, might as well try to do the chocolate thing. I'm gonna go ahead and also do some chocolate desserts. We're gonna start with the dessert first because it's going to take a little while to do. And if I don't do that, we're gonna be here for like 3 hours. So 3 hours of cooking, that's fine if I'm by myself, but as a stream, I feel like that's a little bit too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my oven at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, so that it starts warming up. We're gonna start with dessert. I'm gonna set aside the pasta for now. So what we're gonna make today is some brownies, and I would make a cake, but I don't have like a cake flour, so that's not something I can easily do. And here we go. Let me see if I can get this. All right. So we're gonna start off with brownies. It's gonna be, I don't have a brownie mix, so I'm gonna be making this from scratch. I mean, if you know the recipes for a lot of the baking stuff, it's easy to do from scratch, right? The only reason why you get a mix is you don't want to get all the ingredients separately. But if you just get the mix, and you don't, let's say you get like a pancake mix, and you no longer need you no longer want to make pancakes, then you can't really use a pancake mix much for anything. If you try to use it for a cake, it's not going to go very well. It's not going to go very well. So I tend to have separate ingredients for the most part. All right, so we have some all-purpose flour, 90 grams. We're gonna go with 90 grams of that. I think I need to get some butter melted. I have a half stick of butter here. I'm gonna melt that a little bit in the microwave. And let's see. So it's been a while since I made brownies, or what do you call this, muffins and stuff, just because I'm trying to not eat them so much, because whenever I bake it, what do you call this, I tend to have a problem overeating that stuff. And I think it's a bad habit. But you know what? It's just kind of how it goes. If you're alone, then you tend to eat a lot of this stuff. Hey, Bison, welcome. How's it going? Just gonna make some brownies right now to start off with, before we do anything else. I do also have some chocolate powder, special chocolate powder, dark chocolate powder. So we're going to be adding some chocolate powder, I think 90 grams of this. I'm hoping this is still okay. This chocolate powder I've had for like over... I need more light here. I have this chocolate powder for over 3 years now. Over 3 years. So... And I hardly use chocolate powder for anything, so it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to add 80 grams of this. I think you want to get close to like a 1-to-1 ratio of chocolate powder and flour, or depending on how dark, how chocolatey you want your thing to taste, you could add more, probably up to 2 times. Otherwise, it's a little bit of an overdose, so we don't want that. I do have a little bit of extra chocolate powder left we'll be using for something else later. Now, for any baker out there, you're probably going to ask, why am I not sifting my stuff? Because I don't think it makes that much of a difference. It may not. To me, personally, I don't think it does. So that's why I don't. That is why I don't. It might actually do, though. It actually might. But instead of sifting, what I usually just do is get a whisk and break it up like this. It seems to do just as well. I mean, there's still going to be some clumping, but you know what? That's okay. That just means we have extra concentrated flavor of stuff in the brownie once we actually get to it. So it's not going to be perfect, and I don't expect it to be perfect. That's okay. I'm going to set that aside for now. I have here the melted butter. So I don't actually have sugar. I'm out of sugar. Like, I used the last bit of my brown sugar a while back, and I didn't feel like getting more sugar because I have a lot of honey. So, for this one, to sweeten the, what do you call this? The brownie. We're going to be using some honey, and I'm going to be breaking out the fancy honey. The fancy Japanese honey that says Spain rosemary honey. I don't know that, I've never actually used this. It looks like I've used some. But I think that's just the level it was at before. Maybe I actually use it and I don't remember how it tastes. Actually, let's taste this honey really quick. Let's taste. Ooh. Okay, that's gonna go everywhere. Be careful with that. That is some smooth honey. That is some very smooth honey. Hold on. That's actually, I'll be honest, guys, I'm not much of a honey person. I don't like how honey tastes or the consistency of it. This one seems to be a little bit thinner than your regular honey, and I'm okay with that.
So I'm going to be using honey in place of sugar. And the thing about honey you got to be careful of is that you can try to do like a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar and honey. Like if you use 100 grams of sugar, you can try to use 100 grams of honey also. But keep in mind, there is a liquid portion to honey. So you got to take that liquid into account when you do your baking stuff. And I still haven't figured out how the best way to deal with that, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I still haven't figured out the best way to deal with the extra liquid that the honey adds. Now, typically for this recipe I'm using for the brownie, it has like 2 tablespoons of water or something. I'm not going to be doing that because we already have honey here, and the honey has already liquid in there. So I'm just going to make sure to mix the honey and the butter. I don't know how well that's going to work, and I don't think it's working very well, but I'm going to try. Let's see, what'd you say, Bison? Doing good, just got home from work. Have earphones. Do you have your mic off to your left? Do I have my mic off to the left? I do not. I didn't realize. Let me try to mix this down. The thing is, I'm using a lavalier mic. I don't have a wireless system, so I have to use a lav mic for kitchen cooking stuff, and I've never actually been able to fix this situation. To get a wireless system, guys, okay, I'm mixing it down to mono. Hopefully that helps it. But to get a wireless system is kind of expensive. I think it's like between $200 to $300. And that's not money I can exactly spend right now. Like, I know sometimes I look like I spend a lot of money, but it's usually stuff I have already on hand. So, yeah, just letting you know, that's the situation. Okay, so I'm trying to... So much better, audio quality is better. Yeah, okay, so it was just the audio mixing then. Thanks for letting me know, because I know how to fix some of this stuff, but it's a little bit difficult. You see this honey and butter, it's kind of wanting to mix, but the thing is, it's not really mixing too well. I think it's all the fat. But we do need to add some salt to this. I need salt, I need 2 eggs. I have 2 eggs that's been sitting at room temperature for a while now. And whenever you bake, whenever you bake anything, you always want to set your eggs, well, most of the time, 99% of the time, you want to set your eggs at room temperature. Otherwise, things can go a little awry in the cooking chemistry. Not always so. There are sometimes you do want it. There are sometimes you want it not at room temperature, like you actually want to get it straight from the fridge, like when you're making a meringue or something. But for this, I think you just want it at room temperature. And I'm adding, it looks like a whole lot of salt, but it's a 3/4 tablespoon of salt. And I'm gonna set the salt aside here for later because we're gonna be needing that for the pasta. So salt, let's see, butter, honey in place of our sugar. Then we got eggs. I'm not gonna mix the eggs in our liquids. This is basically all my liquids here, minus the eggs. I'm gonna probably put the eggs directly into the powder because if I put the eggs into the butter, I think the eggs are gonna cook. And if I was working with clarified butter, that might not be a issue, but we're working with something that was heated a little while ago, so we don't want it to cook like that. Okay. Am I missing anything else? Eggs, butter. I think cornstarch might actually be part of the recipe here. but I don't really know why you would do that, so we're not going to do cornstarch. I'm going to do cornstarch. I mean, cornstarch is a thickener, but I don't think we really need to. Okay, I'm just going to pour this in, hope for the best. Hoping for the actual best. Now, I probably could have done this directly into the brownie mix, but I didn't. I did not. Okay, I do have a hand mixer, but I'm not using the hand mixer because that thing is reflective AF. And as you can see, my bowl is not very reflective just due to the amount of use it's gone through. So we'll be mixing this manually. Which is okay. Because if you think about it, back before hand mixers were a thing, bakers mix things manually, so we're just going back to baking roots. That's it. It's actually been a while since I've been baking. It's not been baking, but it's been a while since I've baked. Like, I would make cookies every once in a while, and you know, that's fine and all. But before I did that, I did a whole lot of experimenting with bread, because there's this one bread I wanted to make from my childhood. It's called a pandesal. It is a Filipino sweet bread that you usually have for breakfast. It's, despite the name pandesal, salt bread, there's actually not that much salt in there. There actually is not that much salt in there. It's mostly, it's mainly just a dinner roll, to be honest. Okay. Our batter is mostly mixed now. We do need to add some eggs. Okay, I'm gonna add 2 eggs to this mix. I'm just gonna. I think for the most part, the eggs I should be beating before I add it in there. Okay, I guess I'll lightly break these then, if that's the case. Choo. Baking people look away because this is not standard. This is not the standard way to do things. Okay. Okay, I don't know why this... Do brownies usually have eggs? I think if you're making a fudge brownie, you don't use any eggs, right? Why does this one have eggs? I don't understand. Well, eggs are great. Eggs are a binder. Eggs are great. So... It's not mixing, guys. The eggs are not mixing. I don't know why. I need this to mix in. I need this to mix in. Man, that looks like a mess. I don't think it's incorporating. But the recipe said 2 eggs though, so... I could use a whisk. The whisk could incorporate it better than the spatula. Look at that. Look at that. Now it's very, very chocolatey, right? Very chocolatey. All right. Ooh, that looks very nice now. You can't even tell I just mixed eggs in there. You see that? Looks super good. This might actually be a brownie you can eat without actually having to cook. Maybe. Wouldn't recommend it though. This would be a very messy brownie to try. Okay, the oven is ready, and then our batter is done. Getting some parchment paper and a pan here. We're just gonna layer our batter into the pan. It's gonna be a bit of a mess, but you know what? That's how these things go. Oof, hold on. It's really weird when you have to work with a camera. Actually, screw that. Just gonna put it directly on here, and then we'll fix it from there. Okay. Paper, why you do this to me? Oh, I put it on the wrong side, that's why. That's why I put it on the wrong side. What I should have done was flip this over where the curly part was at the bottom side. That's what I should have done. But instead, I put it on the top side, making it a lot more difficult to work with. All right, there is our obligatory chocolate for today. Our Giri Choco, so to say. That's right. We got Giri Choco for today on Valentine's Day. It's obligatory, guys. It is homie choco. Unless there are any girls out there, there's going to be homie choco. If there are girls out there, it's still homie choco because we don't know each other too well. Unless I know you. If I know you, that's okay. We might be able to take it up from homie choco to friend choco. But for now, this is homie choco. Okay. Just trying to spread out the brownie batter. I think this is going to be very, very thick, guys. It's going to be thick and chunky. And I don't feel like this brownie is done yet. I am going to sprinkle some stuff on top of it. I'm going to be putting some stuff on top of it. I do have some cinnamon here, so we're going to put some cinnamon. Hold on a sec. All right. So cinnamon, let's add some cinnamon to this mess. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it on, if it cooperates with me. Here we go. All right, some cinnamon. I don't know how well that's gonna work, but I'm also gonna be adding some cayenne powder to the top, because spice and chocolate actually work very well together. So cayenne powder and some cinnamon on top of that chocolate. I'm going to be baking that for about, let's say about 45 minutes into the oven, 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to time that, 45 minutes. Okay, the longest step is already in the oven. Now we got to work on the other stuff. Okay, so we're gonna work on the pasta portion now while the brownie is going. We're gonna be doing pasta, and we're gonna be doing an Alfredo pasta. Now, the thing with this Alfredo pasta is cream and all the cheeses and everything else I need to get to make the Alfredo pasta is kind of expensive if you get it all separately. So what I'm doing here is just shortcutting the process a little bit. What I'm doing here is just shortcutting the process a little bit and using an Alfredo sauce that's pre-made. It costs the same. I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not going to be making this more than once, which is like today. So I feel like I'm justified in saying I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it and take a little shortcut for the Alfredo. There's no shame in that, guys. If it tastes good, it tastes good, right? However, I am going to be making a little bit more additions to the Alfredo sauce. So, additions to the Alfredo sauce. I'm going to go ahead and heat the pot up I'm going to be using. So I got a small pot off to the side. I'm just going to be heating it at, preheating that medium. We're also going to put a little olive oil into the pot to heat up along with the pot. Can't see it yet, but that's fine because the main work is going to be over here before we go to the other side. And set that Alfredo sauce. I'll set these ingredients for now. Need my chopping board. So I am going to add a few more things to Alfredo sauce. I'm going to be adding some garlic. I'm going to be adding some onion. I'm also going to be adding some cheese. Yeah, we're going to be adding some cheese. Adding some cheese, garlic, and onions. The onions are frozen and pre-chopped already. No shame in that, especially if you try to keep a lot of ingredients on hand at any time. Chopped and frozen ingredients are okay in my book, anyway. And they don't taste any different. The only reason why you would get fresh onion is if you need the fresh onions for a specific function. But chopped and frozen, that's okay. We're okay with that. I'm okay with that. Okay, garlic. So normally for the garlic, let's move it over here a little bit. So normally when I use garlic in a recipe, I would use the entire thing, but for today we're only going to be using half. Because this is like a single serving of pasta, and not a whole lot of sauce to work with, let's be honest. So half a garlic is more than enough for this. And what I'm going to be doing with the garlic is crushing and dicing these. And I crush and dice the garlic. I think I also need to move the camera a little bit. It's kind of getting in the way. Okay. Ooh, some of these garlics not very good. Usually I get the bulk garlic, and I usually don't have any issues with that, but I think these like 3-pack garlics, I don't know. They seem to be, I wouldn't say necessarily lower quality, but a little bit more questionable quality in the bulk. I don't know why that's the case. There shouldn't be that much of a difference, but for some reason there is. And that bugs me a little bit. Because I don't like wasting ingredients if I don't have to. Okay. How do you guys deal with garlic anyway? I've seen some pre-peeled garlic, but oh crap. I've seen some pre-peeled garlic, but I don't know if that's worth doing. It does reduce the amount of work that you do, but I don't know if it's fresher or it tastes just as fresh or whatever compared to the garlic in the bulb before you peel it and stuff. I know crushed garlic, I know like pre-crushed garlic and garlic powder, useful for certain applications, but in general not something you really want to use if you want like a fresh garlic taste in your recipe. But this is okay. I feel like this is okay. Let's get rid of these things. Get rid of leaves. Okay. Alright, let's see, try to get the diseased parts of this garlic off. There's quite a few here that I'm seeing that I need to get rid of first before I start working with them. Which is a shame, that's a shame. You don't want any nasty bits in your food, guys. It's always a bad thing. You might be able to argue it'll just cook down and you can't notice it later. And in some cases that's probably true. But in general, it just makes the rest of the stuff that you cooked it with taste bad. Because if there's any toxins in there, that gets cooked down and spreads to the rest of the food. So you don't want that. You don't want any of that. Alright. Just gonna roughly chop this. Get that over here. Just roughly chop it. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're not mincing this, it's fine. I know maybe traditional Italian recipe says you don't want any chunks in your Alfredo. But you know what, this is my Alfredo. This is how I make it, all right? As long as we got the base recipe in there, we're good to go. We're good to go. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's chopped enough. I think the pot is also heated up already, so we're gonna change the camera over to there and start making our pasta. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, garlic goes in. Oh, I guess it didn't heat up long enough. Okay, sad face. Should have waited a little bit longer. How does it look? Okay, I guess I didn't let the oil cook, heat up too long enough. Or maybe I'm using a lower heat. Let's increase the heat a little bit. There we go. It's going to be a slightly oily Alfredo sauce, but if you look at the ingredients for Alfredo sauce, there's a bunch of oils there already anyway, like butter, heavy cream, cheeses, a lot of oily stuff, and just gets emulsified together. So I don't think it's going to be that huge of a deal. But still, you know, just gotta work with it a little bit. Just work with it a tiny little bit. Alrighty then, let's see. I do have some frozen chopped onion in the fridge. That's gonna go in as soon as we're ready with the garlic being cooked. That's smelling pretty good right now, actually. I think when there's about 20 minutes left on the clock for the, what do you call this? For the brownie, I am going to start heating up the water for the pasta, because that needs to start soon. Well, that needs to start and finish at before. It has to start and finish right about the time when we're ready for everything else. It's a timing thing. It's a timing thing, guys. Okay, let's add some onions to this thing. Let me measure it out first before I put it in. Oh, that's probably too much. That's too much. I'll deal with it. Okay. Can you guys hear the frying noises from the pot? Because if you can't, I'm gonna have to turn up the audio. All right. Okay, let's see. Let that cook down a little bit before we do the next step. I feel like if I season it right now, it's going to be a little bit too premature. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit so that this cooks down a little bit quicker. Just not a good feeling in the ears. The lav mic, I can't really do much about it. It's not the best audio situation, I'll admit. It's what I got. It's what I got. It's what I can work with. I'm hoping the cooking audio, the frying, the chopping, is acceptable. It's good enough, I hope. Because just hearing the cooking sounds, I feel like is one of the best sounds in the whole world. The water running, the pots clanking, the knife on the chopping board, the frying in the pot. All those sounds. To me, that's music. I'm not sure how anyone else feels about that, but to me, that's music. got some water ready for the pasta. Speaking of water, I need some water for myself. Okay, camera, you are too big. All right, excuse me. Okay, how are we doing over here? Looks okay-ish. I'm gonna cook that down a little bit more. Basically, I want to cook it down to the point where once I start adding the Alfredo sauce, it's going to disappear into the sauce. This might actually be a good time to start seasoning this, actually. All I'm going to do is add a little bit of salt. We're going to use our fancy pink Himalayan salt here. That's what I got. I still have plenty of Himalayan salt, guys. Way too much. Way too much Himalayan salt. So I gotta use this at some point. And some pepper. Some white pepper. May have to season this a little bit more later once all the other ingredients are in, but at least get this ready in your base so that it'll work its way in later. Lovely. Very lovely. All right. Let's see. All I can think of right now is, I don't know. I'm definitely not using a traditional pasta recipe for this one, but if you're just making for yourself, who cares? Who actually cares? As long as it tastes good, right? As long as it tastes good. And I'm not done with this yet. I'm still going to be adding more stuff to this. Okay. Since the garlic and onion is already pretty much mostly done, I'm going to go ahead and put the Alfredo sauce in here. I may have to add a little water to dilute this. Otherwise, the sauce is going to burn, and we don't want that. Let me mix this up first. Is this sauce actually going to burn? I actually don't know. I actually don't know if this sauce is actually going to burn, but there's a lot of sauce left in the... Very cheesy. The base sauce is very, very cheesy, and I like it. However, I feel it tastes a little bland. It tastes a little bland, so we're going to add some stuff to it. So what I have here is the rest of the Alfredo sauce. In the jar, I'm just trying to mix some water into here so I can get it into the pot. If I wanted to do this correctly, I probably should have mixed some milk instead. Oops. Didn't think that through. Did not think that through. Okay. We need to lower the heat on that Alfredo sauce, otherwise, you see all those bubbles? Not good. Not good. Okay. Let's add the rest of this in. I think that's all I can recover. There's a little bit left in the bottle. I'll deal with that later on my own time. But I think what we got here is good enough. That's good enough. Okay, there's about 23 minutes left on the timer for the brownies. I'm gonna go ahead and start heating up the water for the pasta. And we're just gonna warm up the Alfredo sauce until it's ready. Now, once this bubbles up a little bit more, I'm gonna be adding more cheese into this to increase the cheese flavor. But I'm also gonna be adding one more ingredient to the Alfredo sauce. Okay, the Alfredo sauce is nicely salty now. I think I could use a little bit of extra pepper. So we're gonna add some pepper into this. The Italians and the grandmas are probably gonna kill me for this, but you know what? That's okay. You don't have to eat this. I'm eating this myself. I'm eating this myself. Because I got no one to share this with. Except for maybe chat, but I don't know if they'll appreciate the flavor of this once I am done with it. We shall find out. We'll see how cultured you are with your flavors once I'm done. So I gotta keep stirring a little bit so that it doesn't burn, but I'm also using a lower heat now compared to earlier. I think there's a little bit thinner than, what do you call this? I think there's a little bit thinner than usual Alfredo sauce because I added some water in here from the jar. But I think it'll be okay. Not even Italian and you even want to commit a war crime. I'm not done with my food war crimes yet. I am not done with my food war crimes yet. So you're gonna have to hold off your judgment until that time comes. But by the time I'm finished with my food war crimes, you know the star rating on GTA, I think that goes up to like 8 or 10 or something like that. I'm gonna make it go up to all the way to 20 by the end of this night. And you'll see why. You'll see why. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put some cheese in here. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. But let's try. I do have some Kobe cheese here, a couple slices of Kobe cheese. I don't know if there's gonna be enough, or I don't know if it's gonna do anything. But we're gonna add that in there. It's not gonna be smooth anymore, but I do want to add a little bit more cheese to it. I guess if I was doing this properly, I would probably add some smoother cheese, like the lump cheese. That way it spreads a little bit more evenly, like Gouda or Munster or whatever that thing's called. But there's what I have. I have Colby Jack, and I also have Habanero Jack. Since we're already putting pepper in here, we don't need to add more pepper from the Habanero Jack. Not Habanero Jack, Jalapeno Jack. Not Habanero Jack. I would love to have some Habanero Jack, but I don't think it's necessary. Also, I've seen a 4-cheese Alfredo before with all the white cheeses. I'm just adding a different cheese to it. It's not that bad. This will be good by the time we're done with it. This will be good by the time we're done with it. Besides, I'm the one that has to eat this, all right? So whatever I'm putting in here, I have to eat. I feel like that's an overreaction otherwise. Okay, this cheese needs to melt a little bit more. You see that? You see the strings? That needs to melt a little bit more. I might be able to put one more cheese in here. We'll see. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, that's looking nice. Can I add one more cheese in here, or should I just leave it alone? Let's see. Also, guys, if you're wondering why I'm using chopsticks and not like a spatula or anything like that, because chopsticks here is very efficient in stirring this liquid, as well as, what do you call this? You don't lose a whole lot of material when you take it out. Unlike a spatula, the sauce gets everywhere. Chopsticks, not so much. That's why I use this quite a bit. If it was like a little bit more liquid than this, it wouldn't matter as much. Okay, so the Colby Jack has melted into this. I think the base cheese for Alfredo is Parmesan. But like I said, you can add more cheese to that if you want to, because I've seen it. I've seen it before. The 4 cheese recipes. That's actually really good. The sauce has become much richer. You know what? I'm gonna break open the jalapeno jack. I'm gonna add some jalapeno jack to this. 2 slices of jalapeno jack for a little bit of spice. Because right now it's actually way too salty. I may have added way too much salt, so we need to add a little bit of spice to this. So there's 2 slices of jalapeno pepper, jalapeno jack. And it's a white cheese. You will never know it's in there unless I told you. It's amazing though if you think about it, because Alfredo sauce is made with heavy cream, butter, and Parmesan cheese typically, right? And when you mix it all together and becomes all consistent, it's this very, very smooth thing. Hey Reina, welcome. It's not a fondue, this is Alfredo sauce. So I basically just took a jar of Alfredo because getting all the separate ingredients would be a little bit too expensive. I'm just making it one time. And I'm adding a few more flavors in here. I'm adding the garlic and onion. And I added 4 slices of cheese into here to add a little bit more cheese flavor to our Alfredo. I added 2 slices of Colby Jack and also 2 slices of habanero Jack. As well as some pepper, a little bit of salt, probably too much salt because it's way too salty now. But this is my customized Alfredo sauce, starting from a pre-made Alfredo jar. And we also have some brownies cooking in the oven right now. We have some brownies cooking in the oven, baking in the oven, sorry. It's got about 14 minutes left there. I have another pot on the side that's boiling, that's attempting to boil water, and we're gonna be putting the dried pasta there once we're done. I'm just making sure right now that the cheese is thoroughly melted in this Alfredo sauce before I add the final ingredient to this pot. to make it fit for Valentine's, I have one more ingredient I want to add to this pot. Okay. I don't think the I don't think the cheese that they're what do you call this? That the jalapeno jack uses completely melted, because I still feel some strings in there. But it is okay. It is okay. I may have to add more pepper, actually. Okay, one more ingredient, and then I'll adjust the flavor past that. Besides, you know, it's Valentine's, right? So what do we usually do for Valentine's? We do have already the brownies, which I topped off with some cinnamon powder and cayenne pepper. Because why not? Now we have some Alfredo sauce making. And to make it fit for Valentine's, I'm going to add some special dark 100% cacao chocolate powder. Let's start with 1 tablespoon, see how that goes. You know, chocolate and cheese, they seem to go well together. Chocolate and butter, chocolate and heavy cream. So why not this concoction? Also, if you've had mole before, or if you know what mole is, it's the same deal. So don't start crucifying me once we make a chocolate Alfredo sauce here. This became cursed very fast. This was the plan from the start, Reina. This was the plan from the start. I was not supposed to be making brownies and pasta today. It was just supposed to be chocolate pasta. I was working my way up to the chocolate pasta. And this does not have enough chocolate in there. Actually, let's melt all of this first and then we'll taste it. Come on, I mean, chocolate tsukemen exists in Japan. Why can't I make chocolate pasta, huh? Why can't I make a chocolate Alfredo pasta when all the ingredients in that Alfredo sauce already work with chocolate? Give me a good argument for that, please. Give me a good argument for that. A nice berry sauce. Now here's the thing. You just said berry sauce, right? You just said berry sauce. I would not put berry sauce with pasta. What in the actual heck is that? I feel like that's more cursed than what I'm doing here. Okay, water is boiling for the pasta. You can probably hear it on the side, maybe. It's gonna boil for about 10.5 minutes. I think that's what the timer says right now. Okay, that chocolate seems to have mostly melted. I think I see a few specks here. Let me taste this really quick. Not enough chocolate. We're gonna add 2 more tablespoons of chocolate. I know chocolate fettuccine is real. I did my research on this. We're gonna add 2 more. 2 more tablespoons of dark chocolate here because I cannot taste the chocolate flavor in that Alfredo sauce. 2 more. This abomination, what are you talking about? This is perfectly okay. Do you not know what we do in this channel? We experiment in this channel. I am a scientist, Reina. I experiment. You have not seen the level of cursed food I make in my spare time just for the sake of experimentation. But I will start doing them on stream if that's what it takes. Okay, that's fine, I know. You know, I'll just have to convince you that this is gonna be okay. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. We just have to get this in there. If you don't think about this as Alfredo sauce and you just think of it as a chocolate mousse, then everything will be okay. Everything will be okay if you just think of it as a chocolate mousse. I do think that's going to work though. I honestly do think it's going to work. Just have to melt this in. I don't think I'm going to add more chocolate into this because I think this is quite a bit already. That's quite a bit already. Oh, that's too much. Okay. Heat off, heat off, heat off. Heat off. Bananas and adobo, yeah, that actually does sound kind of cursed because I mean I've heard of pineapple adobo before, and I've seen pineapple adobo before. I've made pineapple adobo before. It's a little too sweet for me personally. It's a little too sweet, but it's a thing. It's actually a thing if you don't have vinegar on hand. I can't taste it, it's just a color. I'll be honest, I can't taste the chocolate, it's just a color. I'm gonna set that aside for the people with weak stomachs. I'm gonna put the pasta over here. You get a lovely boiling pasta instead. But that's gonna be put together later. I'll spare you from the curseness for now, but that thing's gonna get put together and I'm gonna have to eat it. If you think it looks bad on your side, I have to eat it. Got 7 more minutes until the pasta and the brownies are done. I gotta clean up a little bit. The thing about cooking streams is there's a lot of dirty dishes that you don't see, and that's more cursed than the actual cooking itself. But it's what we gotta do to keep things going. It's what we gotta do to keep things going. You know, I look at my lab coat right now. I'll show it to you once I'm done with the sink over here. I'm just trying to clean my knife off. Don't want the knife to be in bad condition the next time I use it. Dishwasher ASMR. Dishwasher simulator. Dishwasher simulator. I enjoy Power Wash Simulator quite a bit. It's been a while since I actually played it though, because I use that as a relaxation thing for myself and everyone else who is in chat. So it's been a while. Okay, I think I need to stir that, stir this a bit. There's too much foam here. There's too much foam there. Up, lower it, lower it, lower it, lower it. I think I need like a bigger pot or something if I'm going to boil pasta, but I just have like 1 serving of pasta here. And you wouldn't think this would make too much of a foam once it boils, but it does. Like ridiculously so. Ridiculously so. But yeah, let me show you my coat right now. At least the coat, the part of the coat that's worth showing. You see this? You see this chocolate stain? If that was any redder, it would look like I went through a crime scene or something. And the crime scene is the kitchen. The crime scene is the kitchen. I would probably be institutionalized from the things I just did today. Oh well. That being the case, I'm gonna try this chocolate Alfredo sauce on the side again. Oh, I need to take a picture of this. I need to take a picture of this stuff so that I can post it later. see. The thing to me anyway, the thing about cooking is once you know the rules of cooking, there's so many ways you can like try to experiment and bend the ingredients just to see if they work or not. Like that's what I try to do. That's what I try to do with my cooking. Like I know how to do things properly, you know. But the experimentation, that's the part that I try to do whenever I do one of these things, just to say, does it work? Does it not work? Can it work? Can it not work? Let's see, how does this chocolate thing work? I'll be honest, I can't taste the chocolate. For the amount of chocolate I put into this Alfredo sauce, I can't taste it. I just taste really cheesy Alfredo sauce, and the chocolate is, there's no notes. There's no notes of chocolate here. I just taste the salt from the cheese. Because apparently the salt from the cheese is very overwhelming. I shouldn't even added any extra salt from the beginning on the garlic and stuff. Chocolate is non-existent, guys. It looks bad, but the taste is not there. The taste is not there. And because this is super salty, I'm going to be adding some toppings to this to hopefully balance the salt out. You didn't mention berry sauce earlier, so I have some berries, some preserved berries here that we'll be adding for the pasta. Okay, 2 minutes left. I should probably turn this thing off. No, wait. That's fine. So pasta is still boiling. Brownie is almost done. The brownie and the pasta will finish at about the same time, and that's okay, because that's what we want. Oh, how long have we streamed for? Just an hour? Really? Usually when I do a cooking stream, that usually goes towards 2 hours, but since I was being a little bit efficient with my menu today, I guess it's a little bit shorter than expected. That's fine, that's fine. The next time we cook, we'll take our time a little bit more. And it'll be a different kind of experiment. It'll be more of an experiment it's something I've never made before kind of experiment. I'm not gonna try to deviate too much because I don't know how well it's gonna work just on a base recipe. So learn the base recipe first, and once you get the base recipe down, then go wild. At least that's what I plan to do. I will say that this though, there's a lot of Alfredo sauce that's gonna last me quite a few days. I don't know how I feel about that. I do not know how I feel about that, being perfectly honest here. Okay, I have like absolutely zero room to do things. Hold on a second. Timer's about to go off. Brownie is about to be finished. Let me take off this pasta that's actually done now. Okay, you know that one pasta that usually gets stuck at the bottom of the pan? Yeah, that's kind of annoying, isn't it? Okay, now I need to get the brownie from out of the oven. Oven off. Okay, so the brownie is a little bit of a mess. As you can see here, I don't put points into presentation whatsoever. My presentation points is a bit lacking. I will say that. I will say that. It looks like a mud pie. It looks like a mud pie, but I'm hoping this will be okay. We'll see. That's gonna go on top of a wire rack. That's gonna go here. Let's move the camera. Let's move the camera. So yeah, that's my sorry piece of brownie. It doesn't look good, but I'm hoping the flavor is gonna be okay once we get to it. And, don't stop. Tripod, stop. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, pasta time. Pasta. So there's the pasta. Let's go ahead and put the sauce in there. This chocolate sauce that looks kind of cursed, but actually it's just a color. It's just a color. There's no actual chocolate flavor in there, regardless of what you might think. All right, Skill, thanks for dropping by. Have a nice rest of your night. I'll be working on this. This is pretty much the end already anyway. And I need to get a little bit of that brownie. Let's get a little bit of that brownie. It doesn't taste anything. It really does not taste anything. It's just it looks like chocolate, because I was hoping it would add a little bit of chocolate flavor to the sauce, but it doesn't. It actually does nothing. It actually does nothing. So as weird as it looks, it's actually just Alfredo sauce, to be perfectly honest. And then we have the brownie here on the side. So yep, this is gonna be the Valentine's dinner, at least on this channel. Looks a bit weird. It looks a bit weird, but let's go for the taste test now. Let's taste the brownie. Actually, no, let's leave the brownie a little bit first. Let's leave the brownie a little bit first, because that's still very, very warm, actually. I was not gonna put the brownie on top of the pasta, no. Even I'm not that crazy. Even if I'm not that crazy. But there is this berry here. I've never had this before. Have you guys had this before? Have you seen this before? I've never had this before. I got it in the mail from like some sort of what do you call this? Lucky box or something? I'm gonna taste this first before deciding if I want to add this in, because I don't know what this tastes like. Like, I don't know what this thing tastes like. I've never seen it before. Never seen it before. But it's like a spiky kind of berry. Not really spiky, but you see these bumps on here, right? I don't know what this tastes like. Okay, it's got pits. It's not sweet. Think of it like it tastes kind of like a blueberry. Kind of. A blueberry and a raspberry mixed together. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the flavor too much. We're not adding that anyway. That's something I'm gonna have to slowly work my way through. That's a no. That is absolutely a no. Okay, let's try this pasta. I'm the one trying the pasta. So, all right, let's give this a shot. It looks bad, but let's see. It's just Alfredo sauce. A little bit too salty because of the cheese again. The 4 slices of cheese that were added in there already had quite a bit of salt already from the beginning. And I made a mistake of adding salt at the beginning with the onions and garlic. So that didn't help things. So it's a salty Alfredo sauce because I underestimated the amount of salt that I was going to have to begin with. But as far as the chocolate goes, a thing that you guys are worried about, I do not taste it. 3 tablespoons of dark chocolate, and I do not taste any chocolate at all. I was hoping when I made this, I was hoping that I would get something close to like a chocolate sukumin, you know, like a deep dark chocolate flavor on top of like a pork broth kind of thing. Like that's actually a thing that they do in Japan around Valentine's, at least in this one shop. Chocolate sukumin. And I wanted to try something to make something like that. But making actual sukumin takes a very long time that I don't have, so this was the next alternative. And I think what was missing here is some animal flavor. Because we're doing Alfredo, there is no animal flavor to be added. It's just milk, cheese, and cream. But even if it had, like, say, a beef broth or a chicken broth or a pork broth, I don't think the chocolate would have worked at all. In fact, in that context, it might actually not work at all. Like, it would actually be bad. Here, you just don't taste it. I don't even taste any darkness in here. No darkness from the chocolate. This is Alfredo sauce. So, yeah, I think as bad as it looks, it's not actually that. It doesn't actually taste bad. So yeah. So this one though, I had a little piece of the brownie from earlier. And I think I made a mistake on this one. I made the mistake when I added the cayenne powder on top of the brownie because I actually felt some heat go down my throat, and that is not great. Also, I didn't have any sugar, so I had to use honey, and I don't know how well the honey would have worked in this recipe. I'm gonna find out now. So itadakimasu. I think I need to use more sugar. I need to use more honey. I taste some honey in the brownie, but the actual sweetness, any sweetness in this brownie is actually not there. I need to use a lot more honey. I use I think 90 grams of honey. The recipe I used called for I think 1.5 cups of sugar, but I felt that was a little bit too much. Excuse me, half a cup of sugar is 90 grams of sugar. 90 times 3 is 270 grams. 270 grams of sugar in a brownie mix this particular recipe calls for. I used a third of that. Sugar in the form of honey. It was not enough. It's definitely not enough. This brownie could use more sugar because all I'm tasting right now is a little bit of bitterness from the chocolate, the dark chocolate, a little bit of bitterness from the chocolate, as well as the batter. Well, it's baked, but it's batter. I would call this a failure. I would call this brownie a failure. When I eat this off stream, I'm gonna be having a lot of milk and maybe some honey citron to dip it in because it needs extra flavor. It's not great. It's not great, guys. It's as flavorless as a barren wasteland. So, okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. Let me go back to the desk and we'll wrap this up. We'll wrap this up.
Oh, okay. I am sorry, guys, for putting you through that traumatic experience. I'm sorry for that, and I just wanted to try to experiment something on today. So yeah, next time I do a cooking stream, I won't try to make something so cursed. But I'll be honest, it really does not taste bad at all. It really does not taste bad at all. It's just Alfredo sauce with extra stuff in there. The brownie though, that one actually tastes bad. The brownie actually does taste bad. And adding more sugar would have probably saved the brownie at least. But it is what it is, and I'll just have to keep doing this better. All right. So yeah, sorry for the torturous Valentines, guys, but we'll do better next time. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for watching. But I do hope you enjoyed the process, even though the process was a little bit unconventional. Other than that, see you guys next time, and have a nice rest of your day, everyone. Have a happy Valentine's. Have an actual happy Valentine's with someone you like, and if you're not with that person you like, then treat yourself. This is probably the best time to treat yourself. And the next time I cook, it won't be as cursed, or cursed at all, because I don't know the recipe, and I actually need to learn the recipe first. So, until then, have a nice rest of your day, everyone. Good night, and goodbye.